longer than I've been rich, so until it levels out, I'ma take mama to the Marriott and took me so long to get it, gonna spread it out. Let them know all about me when I'm dead and gone. One in the hand, one in the bag, one in the hand, one in the bag, look at the cash, look at the cash bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling. One in the hand, one in the hand, one in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash, look at the cash bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling. I'ma need all the fries you can give me, all the hot sauce, all the pie you can give me. Better be all or nothing, don't have me in the middle. You better be all you can, yeah. Super fly for the dumbos, plenty slides like a shuffle. Hit the cadence for my young Isaac Hayes, Billy Ocean, but the old with the cane stick. Let my slippers at the function. It's hard to run the Gucci slides. That bet you say you didn't never. I'ma step no. Jackie Chan, no travel. Can't clean it with the beat. Dripping from the. No, Lord, not me. I can never be the one you want to stuff for. Money, that machine. The bell got my stove. R.I.P. the times that I was broke. Acting like a 9/11 post. Matte black, looking clean. Dead president and I'm a local. Cooking up canard. Waiting for the antidote. Running out of time. Pictures thinner than a pantyhose.
Go here and empty your pockets. I don't do that. In my prison, you do what I tell you. Get over here. He's gonna get this.
One in the hand, one in the bag, one in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash, look at the cash bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling. One in the hand, one in the hand, one in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash, look at the cash bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling.
It's one of them ones, man. You just in the car, man. It's like when you in the car, you just think about everything, man. Definitely when you by yourself and you just cruising on the highway, man. Yeah, this got me thinking. On that cap, swerving through traffic, listening to trap. My windows ain't tinted, so notice me. 4 braids, Yankee fitted, yeah, know it's me. I'm everywhere comfortable, but I'm still attentive. A young with money will make offended. I ain't flashy, I'm classy, but I ain't stupid either. Never show up to that's hungry and eager. My brother's keeper, I'm loyal, it's all in my demeanor. A true believer, I believe when they didn't believe her. That's why I don't let opinions affect me. I do what I want to do. If they do or they don't accept me, they expect me to give up. I almost did. Things went from moving faster, slow motion. I was losing focus, stuck on that. It was smooth on the surface, but underneath it was broken. Hoping to find hope in this hopeless world we live in. What you give is what you given. Gotta make wise decisions. Gotta stay tunnel vision. Gotta avoid collision. Keep scratching the surface and keep your palms itching. Gotta pay moms a visit. It's been a while. I've been working. She keep telling me she miss her child. I find myself passing the house. So instead of making it hard, I made it fun for us. Make it easy, so when you need it, you just run to us. But it's a lot of pressure, I'm trying to stick and move through this. Fixing these bumps on the road so I can just cruise to this. Living my life on the road, I'm trying to get used to this. And when they throw dirt, I just act like a broom to this. Trying to stay true to this. Even when they lie on me, world on my shoulders, my girl can't even cry on me. God watching over me, the devil probably spy on me. I've been going through some, Kenneth keep an eye on me. I know it's been a drought, but to my fans, don't go dry on me. If you want a picture, take a picture, don't get shy on me. I'm here to inspire, I admire that you admire me. I've been in the dark, but I promise you'll see a brighter me. I'm sorry. To all my supporters, man, I love y'all. I just want to say thank you for supporting me since day one. You don't want to see me win, man. I don't know why, but we gonna win anyway. I came straight out the with a microphone. Boy, I swear I couldn't leave that mic alone. Everybody clear the room, I like to write alone. I'm in my zone, bass bouncing off the between. I'm either hot or cold. Can't be a loser. I maneuver like I got a clone. I'm out here in these streets like I ain't got a home. I know it sounds a little painful, but it pays off. Social sites was distracting, so I stayed off. Spoke to God that me and Satan had a face off. I swear my life was like a rocket, then it takes off. First I plotted, then I got it, couldn't wait long. I put the pedal to the metal, then took the brakes off. And I kept it A1 like the steak sauce. My paychecks used to be a pair of Jordans, and I know I can't afford them, but I went ahead and bought them. Then I quit, started, spent my money on recording. Yeah, the studio was small, but man, that made me a fortune. Made me a fortune, man. Trying to stop me. Y'all can't stop me. This is forever. Forever, man. I mean that.
All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Straight ahead, it's a clash to decide the AFC's representative in the Super Bowl, and it'll be a great one between the Houston Texans and the New York Jets. The winner here goes to the Super Bowl, and we'll know soon enough which team that'll be as we are underway in the AFC title game. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Detroit! Now let's go! Green 39! Green 39!
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Zach Cunningham with a pick, and his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open?
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Henry Anderson, big man from Stanford there for the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now it's Watson going for it all. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So they've been unable to capitalize on the great field position as of yet. Here's 3rd and 9.
Tiger! Come back! Here we go, Tiger!
To throw is Watson. Eluding the... And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Preston Smith coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Dustin Hopkins now to try the field goal. From the right hash, this from 48. And that is no good. And this will remain a scoreless game. And there is nothing easy about being a kicker on a day like this.
Yeah, I tell you, not only is the footing tough in the snow, but kicking that ball is like kicking a rock. Very difficult to get any sort of feel on your kicks.
New York set to take the field. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Detroit! Detroit!
Right back to him on first down. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Now as we look down, it appears we've got a Jet shaken up on the play. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. A first carry for Trenton Cannon. And he'll slice his way down to the 30 with a pickup of 7.
That run right there was an offensive line coach's dream, wasn't it? Guys picked up all of their assignments, created a nice gap for the running back to get through, pick up 7 yards. Yeah, he's probably chortling on the headset right now saying, we got it going, boys. Let's keep it going.
Detroit!
They'll run with Cannon. A beautiful spin and room to run. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards. It's first and goal, a chance for the first points of this AFC title bout. They'll run, Anderson. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal.
Detroit! Detroit!
He's going to get it running right. He went backwards 7 yards, setting up a tough 3rd down.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either called pressure, or what I like to call straight-ahead pursuit. A great read, and they get to the backfield and make the play.
And that was a big chunk of yardage lost. Back to throw, Darnold. And that is incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
And Myers able to knock it through. And the Jets hit the board first. It's 3-0. They had it first and goal. 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And they were in field goal range the last time out but couldn't connect.
And it's early in the game, so I don't think that the confidence just goes entirely out of, running your kicker back out there. But let's face it, some coaches have a little bit less patience for that than others. Let's see if they call the game differently now in terms of what they do on drives and not try and settle for field goals.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Richmond.
On 2nd down, here's Watson. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10.
Right there. 54. Right there. 54, Mike.
Back to the air. Watson on 2nd down. Sideline throw. It's complete. And a nice job. There of keeping the toes inbounds. Second down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a 3rd and a couple remaining.
Hey, 4 down.
They'll try to run for it with Miller. So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the first before he's brought down. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Black 99, feel it.
They keep it with Miller on 1st down. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Houston. Kiki QT, 57 yards. And the Texans have taken the early lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
New York set to take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Here's Cannon. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Aaron Colvin there to make the tackle. With Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Jets in possession as we begin quarter number 2 here. They're up against a 3rd and 2 to start things out. They'll run it. Here's Anderson. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
A lot depended on the spot there, and he got it. But it wasn't by much, was it? I remember Coach Madden talking about, depending on which foot the official used, that would tell you whether you had the first down or not. You want that upfield foot to be the one that spots the ball, don't you?
And you and I have the luxury of a couple extra views here in the booth, and he did get it, but not by much. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. On 1st down, Darnold throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll make it 2nd down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
Tally, that is catch number 1 for him in this AFC Championship. It's a 1st down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll run. This is Cannon. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. Justin Reed, the safety, made the tackle.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
To throw on 2nd down is Darnold. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off here by Aaron Colvin. And he'll be brought down at his own 10-yard line.
And this might not be the last interception we see, Brandon. Both of these teams like to throw the football, but here in this snow, ball's not going to always go where you want it to. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And he'll find some room to get this up to about the 14. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Miller. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. Darren Lee there to get him down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Richmond.
Here's Watson. Going deep for Hopkins. It got his man complete. That goes for a gain of 31. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him, and he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there.
Watson on 1st down. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Tiger. Come back.
Watson now to throw. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. The Texans on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 14.
Flex round.
And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. And Dobbs is going to be swallowed up as he'll go down. Leonard Williams coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down. The Texans send the punter out as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. This is taken at the 18. Now, a nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. And the Jets set to take the field. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I was
going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. On the carry, it's Cannon. And an alley to run. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 1:59 to go in the first half. Back with more of the AFC Championship game after this.
Leopard! Watch him now, Barney!
Here's Darnold now on 2nd down. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
On 3rd down, it's Cannon, and not much running room. Down to the 32. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
They begin with a run by Miller. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating? The guys who just gave up that play.
Maybe worse than the loss of yardage, they also lose the down. So now it's 3rd and long.
Tiger! 56 is the mic. Tiger! Let's go! Come back! Tiger!
A shotgun snap for Watson. Flushed out right. Going deep for Hopkins. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down. So hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it. Brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
The Texans send the punter out as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. He'll look to set up his blockers. It's a nifty return of 29 yards. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Darnold. It's caught by Quincy Enunwa. Give him 30 yards there.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Darnold. His throw caught right around the 6. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. And it's a rush to the line right now for the Jets. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this 3rd down play takes place, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Check. Motion out of backfield. Motion out of the backfield.
Now Darnold on 3rd and goal. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
A 1st down carry now for Miller. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Tiger. Motion.
Here's Watson now on 2nd down. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now. The Texans on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7.
Black 99, feel it. Richmond. Check. 3 down.
Watson going to give this one to Miller. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. So we are halfway home to figuring out who will represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, one more half to decide who takes home the Lamar Hunt Trophy as we're back underway in this AFC Championship. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Come back.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Can see this quite a bit on running plays where the guy's out wide. A lot of times, though, it doesn't get caught.
You're exactly right, because it's away from the play usually, so a lot of it goes undetected. But I know this will surprise you. I coach some receivers in the offseason. We work a lot on hand placement and blocking downfield. Might want to take that course.
And an alley to run. run. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
Richmond. He's coming. Come back. Tiger. 6, Mike, 56, right there.
To throw on second is Watson. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Leonard Williams in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal?
3 down. Hey, I got him. That's me.
Out of the gun, Watson. And that is incomplete. Give credit to K.J. Wright. He was disrupting defensively.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. This is fielded at the 27. 43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Darnold going to lead the Jets up now, 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he finds a man on the crossing route. A gain of 32 that time.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
And on the ground they go with a running back. So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
Room here to run. Fights through and now a crease. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. It's a pickup of 17 there. And it'll be 2nd down.
Hey, guys, check me out. We got 3 down, but we got to stand up over there. Black 99 Philly, here we go. 36. Motion.
They go again with Cannon. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets 1st down.
Well, think of it like you would a typical boxing match. The person is on his heels and absorbing blows is having a tough time. And that's what's happening to the defense right now because the offense is on his toes and punching. And there was another 1st down run right there.
And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage back at the 17.
Brandon, we're into the 2nd half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Detroit!
And they'll try the air now with Darnold. Flush to his right. That's caught right side by Anderson. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. A field goal would get him the lead, but that's not what they're shooting for as they come up on 3rd down.
We got three, fellas. We got 3.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Darnold. Found his target, it's Anderson. And he's able to pick up the 1st before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. Give him a gain of 4, able to convert, and that sets up 1st and goal now. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. Bust through the tackle. Fighting his way in for a Jets touchdown. Trenton Cannon taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Jets are able to strike for 6. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown because the field goals means they got in range. but couldn't quite finish it off. This time, they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
Here's Myers now to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And here comes the Texans now. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Partner, I think it's high time to get him some passes that he's comfortable with. Some easy throws, some completions. He's not even hitting at 50% thus far.
Certainly that has played a big role into why they are trailing right now.
Reset. Check, go get him. Tiger.
Throwing again is Watson. Fighting, but he can't get away forever, and down he goes. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here. So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Preston Smith in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. New York set to take the field. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass. Defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a beat on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action, and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
Trying to turn the corner, but he's going to be stopped right near the line of scrimmage. Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Darnold. That's complete right around the 8. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 6 yards on the pickup, and all of a sudden here it's 3rd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's Jet football as they've got the lead here, and we get set to begin quarter number 4. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
You got three down.
Darnold from the gun. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. C.J. Anderson from 8 yards out. And the Jets are going to add on to their lead. Extra point through the snowflakes, up and good. And it's now 21-7. Here's Myers now to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And And the Texans set to come onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Caught left side, Hopkins. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. There they went for a big play through the air on second down, couldn't connect. Now it's third. The Texans on third down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. Here it's 3rd and 2.
Right there, 54 Mike.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Miller with a first down and more. And brought down across the 50 to the 49-yard line. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on second and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
On first down, it's Watson. It's caught. This is White. And he gets it down to the 32. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
Richmond.
From the gun, here's Watson. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out.
Mike 54. Mike 54. Come on.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. That's to his running back, complete. And now Miller hit, and he fumbles. And the Jets have recovered.
Brandon, I don't want to violate any of our broadcasting rules by declaring a game over before it's over. But that one, that puts them in real jeopardy there.
Absolutely. It was a 2-possession game. It is a 2-possession game at this stage in the 4th. They needed points out of that drive.
And obviously now, no chance at all to get those points that they so desperately needed.
Big hold of the 30. He's at the 50. 30. Past the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Trenton Cannon, 84 yards. And the Jets find a way to stretch their lead. Well, they've been part of the cream of the crop in the AFC all season. It's becoming more and more evident that they're going to get a shot to play for that Super Bowl title.
The momentum has been building, and you mentioned how well they've played throughout the season. It's all come together for them, and they are really laser-focused on being that team to represent in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they have been dominant in this one. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. So you can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense. But when you turn it over, it changes momentum. And when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, That's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You'd better be, because otherwise it's going to be a long day for you.
On first down, Watson. Buying time, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Play action for Miller. Now Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it, and it's scooped up by the Jets. And it's a touchdown for the Jets. So a great play there by the defense. If these guys are going to advance, and it looks like they will, this defense a big reason why. And they love carrying the mantle for this team, don't they? You see the way that they move around out there? They want to lead this team deeper into the playoffs and hopefully onto the Super Bowl. And that return for a touchdown certainly helps that cause. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive. Then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction. There's not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You've just got to regroup and start putting another drive together. That's all you can do. Now here's a timeout defensively. Defensive timeout called by the Jets. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter.
Watch tight end. Tight right. Three down. Tiger. Richmond. Check, 93's the mic. 93's the mic.
Watson now. From the gun, he'll throw. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, second down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better. And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Watson, gonna throw again. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language. Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start. Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Richmond.
3rd and long, it's Watson. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. Able to find a seam for 14 yards, but still now facing a 4th down after the scramble.
Check, 93's the mic. Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense. Tiger. Back's mine. Tiger. Check, 93's the mic.
Desperation time. Watson on 4th down. He'll rifle this one deep right. He's got a man. Complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Richmond. Come back.
On 1st and 10, Watson forced out to his left. Now he'll turn and throw deep back into a double team, and it's intercepted. Snags it for the pick, and a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
And they'll go on the ground. And the ball is knocked out.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. time for a break. Back to wrap up the AFC Championship game after this. Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes. They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down.
3 down.
And they will take a knee here. Here's Lachlan Edwards now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield.
Check, 93's the mic, 93's the mic.
On 2nd and 10, Watson. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And he's going to go down again. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.